This is part 2 of how to create a soldier cake topper using polymer clay. So I'm going to start by dressing his legs. So I'm using this brown clay. I've rolled it out quite thin. So I've just used a rolling pin, but you can use a pasta machine to roll out the clay. I've measured this piece of clay so I know that it's the right size for the front of the leg. I'm using my Dresden just to add some creases down the middle, and then I'll just smooth those out. So I'm just positioning this piece and then pressing it into place, using the Dresden tool just to secure it a little bit more, and I'm just going to trim down the sides of the clay so I've got a nice neat seam right down the side of the leg there. I've cut the clay to the right size to cover the arms. Again, in the same way as the legs, just pressing it into place, making sure the seam is neat, and then just adding some detail into the elbows. I've bent back this top arm a little bit so that I can feed the clay over the arm. This is a little bit tricky, but just taking my time and feeding it over the arm and then just cutting it down to the right size. Once it's in place, I'm just going to use the Dresden to neaten up the joints. I've cut a small section of white paste here, which will represent his shirt. So I don't need to cover the whole of the front because most of it will be covered. I'm modelling the tie from some pale green clay, just going to use the Dresden and add some detail into it. Cutting it to the right size and shape, and then attaching it onto the front of his chest. Now I'm just going to cut a strip of paste and then cut a triangle shape from it, and this will form his shirt collar. Now I'm just going to cut a strip of I'll just trim away the excess clay, and then using the knife just trimming a little bit more of the clay away, just to add a bit more definition to this shape. I've cut a piece of the clay here for his back, and so this is for the back of his jacket. Just pressing it into place, not pressing it too tightly to the body, but making sure it's attached nice and close here at the top, and then just trimming away the excess. For the front of his jacket, I've cut 2 pieces, and then I'm just placing those in the right position and attaching them firmly on the top of the shoulders, cutting away the excess, and then using the Dresden tool to blend in the joins. Just adding the jacket collar now. And now the back of the collar, and again trimming it so it's exactly the right size, and just joining those collars together using the Dresden tool to help. I'm making the front pockets now, so creating a rectangle shape and then just adding an extra piece to the top, and then forming a seam in the centre of each pocket. I've cut a strip of white clay for the belt, and then just attaching that around the centre, trimming the belt where it meets in the middle. I've rolled out tiny balls of pale grey paste and just placing them in the right place down the centre of the jacket, and then just pressing them into place, and then using the silicone tool just to press them a little bit firmly onto the jacket. This is so they don't just pop off once the model has been baked. Now that the model is complete, I'm placing it into the oven to bake on a low temperature for about 30 minutes. Once the model is cool, I will glue him onto a small disc of clay and he can stand upright on the top of the cake. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Please remember to subscribe to my channel so that you can see more tutorials like this.